to try to lay out for you the fundamentals of what it is we're trying to accomplish here under the banner of Five-Way Building Solutions. And it has been always a big dream of mine to work with more of a network. The concept that I've worked with has been not to do a franchise. It just becomes such a difficult task to accomplish from state to state and all the regulations that are involved in it. So to create a non-franchise franchise has taken a lot of developmental thought. Of late, I have found that there is some things that we now see coming together in kind of coalescing fashion. One of them has been the idea that we have seen the rise and fall of the pandemic and the need for sanitizing. And I think this has created kind of an urgency, a kind of a need for businesses to understand how we can do something that has a long-term effect, how we can stay in business in the good and the bad times. Well, one of the things that has struck me of late has been the fact that floors are, number one, universal. They're often a universal embarrassment, and they're a universal problem. That is something that everybody has, and it's kind of like taking out the trash. You've simply got to get it done, or suffer the consequences of that. So that was one factor. I was then introduced to some rather advanced ideas in the area of floor care. And because my background has been in the green concept, that we don't want to do something that's going to make the air quality worse, that's going to impact people's lives in a bad way, we needed to find something that had a green foundation, but was able to do actually a superior job. So under this first banner, what we're really looking at then is the idea of floor care and a green solution that is superior. So now we have something that's rather universal. I'll point out to you that we needed also something that had a wow factor to it. And I say that because indoor air quality, odor removal, infection control, mold and mildew, these are things that can be pushed aside for a period of time. And yet floor coverings or hard floors are kind of that persistent issue. So if we can walk in with a microbial product and do a demo and show them in striking fashion the difference that this can make, this gives us some real options for us, because now we have something that has the wow factor. All the other things that we're capable of doing, whether it be odor removal, or whether it be mold, or whether it be some of the other factors such as infection control and the other things that we kind of deal with, those are oftentimes what you might call an add-on or extra things that we can do. But we needed that mainstay, particularly when it comes to commercial accounts. I'm not a fan of residential business because they're usually one-offs. And I want to have our program have a continuing cycle, and this is best served by the commercial side. And so I'm looking at also in this area how we can go after that market. That's also the market that has a lot of these hard floors, that needs our kind of service, and that is not only affordable, it's less labor intensive, and we have greater durability. I mean, we're going to bring something to the table here that stands head and shoulders above everything else. And it's because this has all been taken for granted for such a long time. Let me point out the second thing that I feel is important. The first one is about the idea of actually targeting commercial, commercial, the idea of targeting commercial instead of residential, looking at the floors as an issue and coming up with a superior idea. Second of all, the idea that a number of you who I'm talking to right now, there's only a few of you, and it's about 5 or 6. I'm looking at you because you possess that kind of rare ability. Get out there and actually meet and greet and enjoy the process. You have that capability as far as I can tell, and that makes you what some might call a rainmaker. In the vernacular of the business world, that's account management and account development. So why are we spending time for those of you who are really developed in being able to find and develop accounts? Why are we sticking you with doing all the work? I really want to graduate a few people up who are capable of going out there and landing, let's say a restaurant, a quick service restaurant, and they've got 6 or 8 or 10 different places, or a commercial building of some sort that has different locations. You can do that. Now, when we do that, you become that rainmaker. We then want you to find individuals who you can sub out to. I've used the reference to Janet King. Janet King in the cleaning industry became what was known as a broker. And they didn't do the jobs, they just got the accounts, they managed those accounts, and they paid these people like sub-accounts. Now, this is where we get away from the franchise and become the non-franchise franchise, because we're going to own those accounts. You're going to make your money on the spread of that. You're going to make your money by distributing products elsewise. There's several ways you're going to make money that I'll explain in the text that'll come along with this. But I want you to be able to focus and make really good money doing what you do best. And that is finding new people and growing, in a sense, a whole volume of people, particularly in the commercial realm, who are looking at you to be the solution. And this is part of what salesmanship is all about. It's locating a problem, floors in commercial buildings with a superior solution, and becoming the solution for them, that we can bring this to them, and we have the workforce without having to hire people, which I really think is important. I don't like to have people on the payroll. It's expensive, you have to hire people and so forth. We don't want you to do that. We want you to sub out as much work as possible, and we're going to show them how to go out there and do demos and get business themselves and purchase a product from you. And then we're going to do something else, which is the third piece of this puzzle. So one of which is commercial accounts, flooring, better solution. Second of which is that we want to elevate you to becoming the account manager and the account development, that rainmaker. The third piece has fallen into place, and that is something called BizConnect. You can take a look at it at bizconnect.com. This is brand new, and it is amazing. This company has already been offered $2 billion to buy them out, and they haven't yet hardly gotten a start on which might be their soft launch. So this company knows they've got something that is a powerhouse situation. So BizConnect is a powerful multi-million-dollar operation that is just coming into its own right now with some software I think that's pretty amazing. And what they're going to do is they're going to guarantee that for those individuals who come into the program, that they're going to give them business. Not just the idea of advertising, but they're going to give them leads and or business accounts that will equal the amount of money they've had to pay for this service. So what are we doing? We're working on the other side of the equation. We don't want to work on this side of the equation, which is the work a day, get out there and work hard to get all those jobs done. And in the meantime, you're doing payroll, you're doing advertising, you're getting the account management, you're doing 500 different things to keep that business going. We want to move you away from that. Those are the sub-accounts, the people who do the work. They subcontractors, I'd say. They're the people who do the work. I want to move you over here to be the rainmaker part, to be the one who develops that business. Now we have that part being served by BizConnect. We have the other part being served by the fact that you're going to spend your predominant amount of time going out there and finding accounts. And when you find an account, even if it's a 1 building operation or if it's a 10 building operation, that you're going to be able then to enlist these individuals. And by the way, there's a bunch of service companies out there who would love to get some work. And this is everything from cleaning services to mold services to odor removal services, that they're going to adopt our concept and work with that. And we'll do all those things, but we're going to focus in on the floors. So what I'm getting across to you is that you're going to be that person. And we're in a kind of a pilot project stage right now to prove whether or not, number one, I know we can do this, but number two, that you can do it. So that's where we're at right now. Let me explain that this isn't going to happen out of thin air. That, there's a lot of money that's gone into this. I've had to kind of make some serious connections financially to make all this happen. And so we've bought into some of this and been sponsors to some of this to really make a go of it. Plus the idea of being able to market ourselves out there. So your obligation is that this program is $10,000. And that sounds like a lot of money, I'm sure, at this moment in time. 5,000 of that is going to be deferred until you bring on some people who are going to want to be a part of the system, and you can take care of that when you're making money. So that is not a big deal. 5,000 of that is what we are going to put into this system to try to help make sure that we've got enough wherewithal to drive this forward. And it'll happen with or without you. So I'm not concerned whether you do or whether you don't. But this is not something we're just drop out of heaven on people. It's going to take some real work. Your obligation is that you're going to become that person who's going to get out there and make those accounts happen. You're going to recruit these existing companies. I don't care if they're carpet cleaning companies, or they already got a floor cleaning service, or they're a cleaning service, or they're whatever they might be, that they're going to then pick up these jobs and do them for you. You can have your own teams, quite frankly, but if we move into other cities, we're going to have to locate these likely candidates who want jobs just dropped on them, and they're going to take the fee. And you'll always be making a piece of this, and there's going to be about 5 or 6 ways that you're going to make money simply by being the go-to person, that guy in the region who is putting all this together. Now, if it makes it easier for you, then you can do this 5,000 by making the first commitment of 1,000 and paying the rest on a monthly basis. I don't want to make this something you can't do, because I think you bring something to the table as I bring something to the table. And it's really important that you understand what we're trying to accomplish here. I've got a lot of things I'd like to share with you, and I don't want to make too much of it in this moment. But with 5-Way Building Solutions, that's the name we're going to be using, we're not asking these companies to change their name, but basically to adopt our 5-Way system. And if they will adopt the 5-Way system and the product and the training that we'll offer, then they can do that. The package is going to contain training from us, both in indoor air quality and in green floor care, a few other things about marketing themselves. That will also include one-on-one training with you. So we're going to actually take them and train them in the real work that's going on. And it's going to include you then kind of mother henning them for that first 90 days to 1 year to make sure that they are the success. And we're going to put these virtues underneath of them, both how to do a demo to get their own customers, how we're going to go out there and we're going to work as the account manager to send them business, and how we're going to use BizConnect to make that all happen. So we're putting a lot of our emphasis on the part that makes everything happen. Someone has said in any company, sales is what feeds everybody. So we've got to have sales. We've got to bring that business to them. They can spend their time doing what they do. That's the work that has to be done. But those are the subcontractors for what we do. You're going to be the contractor. And we're going to work together for all this. We're mapping out the strategy on how this is going to be something that you can do and how that money is going to flow in there. But I think we've got something here that can take us to the next level. And we're talking literally of something that is going to be a nationwide program. In your area and in your state, you're going to be able to develop this, and we're not going to put rivals in there. Now, if it's a large state from Northern California to Southern California and in between, no one's going to be able to traverse all of that state. And so there may be more than one person in a region, and there are no territories, but we're not going to plug somebody behind you like a McDonald's on the next block over. We're going to give you that area, and you're going to be able to work that area without interference. However, because there are no territories, if you've got somebody 500 miles away and you want to bring them on board and work with them, there are no limits of where you can go, because we're never going to saturate this market. It's just simply too large. So I think you kind of know what I'm getting at this particular point. 5-Way Building Solutions, I think, is going to be something of some size, because we're going to have people who are capable, who are very robust in their abilities. And again, the reason I'm talking to you is that of that 5 or 6 people that I have known over the years, you've got that kind of unique skill to meet and greet and find people simply because you're that kind of person. So I think that's a valuable skill, but it's not a skill I want to see buried in trying to work a 60-hour work week to keep up to everything with everything else you've got to do to really move you around and put you in a different position. Doesn't mean you have to quit what you're doing altogether, but you really want to now start going after this and finding those companies who you can contract to. Again, I've got more things that'll be shared on the page that I'm putting this video on as a means of introduction. And I'll be trying to lay this out so that it is not complicated. And as we pull all this together, here in the month of July, this is all going to come together in a very clear pattern. As of August the 1st, I expect that we're going to be moving forward on this toward the end of the year. By the first of next year, I want to see not only you, but others who have proven this model and are now growing it in a larger scale than you might have ever believed. This is on you in many ways. I have brought together the concept and the tools and the ideas. I think we've got a gem in the rough here. But because it's not been done, that door is wide open for us to take care of. And this area of let's say, green floors is very ill-served. It's very labor-intensive. It's very costly. A 6-story building with a lot of hard floors in it. The OWL quote, which gives us some ideas of what things cost. Maintaining the hard floors of a building can be as much as $100,000 a year in real cost to keep everything going great. What if we could do it better at a lesser fee? Well, this is some of the things we're going to bring to the table here, because I think we stand head and shoulders above the rest, and we want to get to where we are building something that has a lot of legs to it. As you look forward into the future, what happens here is you grow your region. You've got a permanent kind of business that literally, if you needed to, you could sell off, because it is like a distribution point, and you will own that distribution point. So I think this is a lot of benefit that comes as a result of this. All right, I'm going to close it here because I didn't want to go too long. I'm at about 17 and a half minutes, and I wanted to keep it under 20. And I'll be talking with you, and I want to answer any questions you've got. We need to be talking very often. We'll be doing Zoom meetings. We'll be doing correspondence. Certainly, we'll be talking one-on-one. So I look forward to hearing from you, talking to you more. If this is not for you, that's okay. I don't really want anybody in this system who doesn't have the vision, who doesn't share the vision. If it is for you, I think we're going to have a lot of fun. I look forward to talking to you further.